As anyone who's been following along on my channel knows, I am politically neutral. So whenever I make references to politics or political candidates or the presidency or the administrations, they're always just subjective observations. And one of my objective observations is that absolutely, way back in 2016, I saw the development of an illness called Trump derangement syndrome. I didn't label it that. Of course, it was labeled that, but I saw it occur because I saw a man who had been popular immediately become unpopular for taking a political stance. This article is linking Trump to Bitcoin's price action. Economist Paul Krugman says that the decline in Bitcoin is due to Trump's waning political power. Now, this is the same Krugman who made another statement back in July of 2024. He said that Bitcoin is economically useless and he criticizes Trump's crypto support. Is there any objective evidence to justify that position? So let's talk about it.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
The Nobel laureate economist Paul Krugman says that Bitcoin's recent decline reflects the US President Donald Trump's diminishing political influence. He intensified his criticism of Bitcoin, claiming that the cryptocurrency's recent price action, including its tumble to $80,000 on November 21st, has turned into a US President Trump trade. Remember that, a US President Trump trade. He suggests that this decline reflects the US leader's diminishing dominance over the Republican Party. A blog post on November 24th, which we referenced in the introduction, conceded that Bitcoin is likely to rebound but attributes his potential recovery not to fundamentals but to its cultism. I guess he sees maximalist behavior too. He claims that this cult status has allowed the cryptocurrency to recover from setbacks and scandals that would have sunk any normal investment. I'll have to say that these are not normal times, and he's kind of starting to sound like a Gensler to me in speaking in behalf of the legacy system. But nonetheless, he argued that Bitcoin is fundamentally a tool used for what he terms financial predators, taking advantage of Trump's administration's pro crypto posture. More broadly, crypto is, as I've suggested, says Krugman, increasingly a tool for financial predators, and the Trump administration is extremely predator friendly. Ask Xiaoping Zhao, founder of the cryptocurrency exchange Binance, we call CZ, who was found guilty of violating U.S. money laundering laws, then pardoned by Trump. Here's a good question, though. How has Bitcoin performed recently? That's something I want to take a look at in comparison. In the aforementioned July 2024 article by Krugman, he stressed that tech bro support for Trump and Vance also seems to have a lot to do with one specific issue: cryptocurrency. He criticized Bitcoin's economic futility and political support. In an opinion piece published on Monday in the New York Times, Monday in July, Krugman underscored the economic futility of Bitcoin, asserting the truth is that Bitcoin, which was introduced 15 years ago, an eon in tech time, remains economically useless. He added a 2022 survey found that transactions involving crypto assets are seldom used for payments outside the crypto ecosystem. A couple of exceptions to its uselessness are money laundering and extortion. With the introduction of the Stablecoin Act and stablecoins, as well as the developments of the ISO 20022 compliant messaging system, it seems like crypto assets are going to be used for a lot more than payments inside the crypto ecosystem. As a matter of fact, it's going to be used for asset tokenization and probably cover every industry out there. Nevertheless, he criticized the significant political support that cryptocurrency has garnered in the Republican Party. Again, we'll make a comparison. Bear with me, it's coming up here soon. Krugman warns that this techno sector ethos, while appearing as populist, ultimately serves the interest of a wealthy few, masking the dubious economic value and potential risks associated with cryptocurrencies. Can't argue that point in the sense that there are risks involved with any investment. Can't argue that point that, as we have seen, the financial advisor outfits are definitely trying to shake out and kill the sentiment of retail investors, leaving the wealthy few. And when we look at the Stablecoin Act, which I did a video about it, you can read the regulations involved and you can see that only the wealthy are the ones who are able to create stable coins. So there's some validity to that. But the real question is there a validity to his political position? Emphasizing that the crypto advocates have already managed to get key parts of their wish list inserted into the 2024 Republican platform. The bottom line is crypto is the way it's going to go no matter who's in office. It says Republicans will end Democrats' unlawful and un American crypto crackdown and oppose the creation of a central bank digital currency, Krugman commented at the Saturday's Bitcoin conference. Trump appeared to go even further than his party's platform, calling for the creation of some form of national Bitcoin reserve, a government bailout for a scandal ridden, value and environment destroying industry. The question is, what do you think, listener? What do you think about Paul Krugman's view on Bitcoin and the crypto industry's political support? Let me know in the comments. But before you let me know in the comments, consider this. So, what we have in front of us is the Bitcoin chart showing the Bitcoin price action from January 2016 to January 2024. He wrote that article in July of 2024. So, from there to here, we have the 4 year span of the Trump presidency. And from here to here, we have the 4 year span of the Biden presidency. And then we have the current administration's Trump presidency. And here's what I noticed that during Biden's presidency, if we take our measuring tool and start from the beginning here and go up, we end up with an increase of Bitcoin's price of 563.32% increase in price. That's pretty significant, is it not? So, what has happened since January of 2024 when he started writing these articles? Well, if we start here and go up, we end up with an increase of price of 145.66%. So we had a remarkable increase during the Biden administration, not as much of an increase during the Trump administration. So they're looking at numbers, but what really matter are percentages. Now, admittedly, in Trump's first presidency, although it looks like a minuscule rise, there was a major rise in the price of Bitcoin for just around $500 in 2016, all the way up to $19,000, which was a 3,850% increase. But Mr. Krugman wasn't referring to the past. He was referring to the current administration. And remember, his article was from 2024. This one was July of 2024, and this one was just yesterday, which would have been the 28th of November, 2025. So, why am I sharing this information? Because number one, it caught my eye because of the TDS that tends to flavor people's opinion about things. And number two, I can see a concerted effort to universally play the psychology of the market and try to touch on every sensitive chord everybody has and then impact their belief system. And here's what you can believe: crypto is the wave of the future. Ride the wave. Gold and precious metals, particularly silver at this time, are good places to invest your money. And of course, government treasuries are a safe and secure place to put your money because if the governments fail, the money fails anyway. And the Stablecoin Act is going to require investments in US treasuries and similar type investments. So we were ahead of this curve years ago when we were saying that, because that's the first thing I said on the scene back in what, 2018 maybe? Don't let Trump derangement syndrome, don't let the psychology of the market, don't let shaking the rug throw you off and pull you into the narrative. Come back to DK Will Talk About It and allow me to help adjust your paradigm to a peaceful, steady place where we look for the objective evidence, not the sensationalism. I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It, and I talked about it. I'm going to do another video for something I want to talk about here soon, so make sure you come back and check it out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.